Welcome to the Frog Brothers Kaijuvision.
Hello, and welcome back to the Frog Bros Podcast presents Kaijuvision.
Kaijuvision.
That's better. That's much better. Well, that's also stereotyping and being blatantly asinine. So
That's my anime impersonation.
okay, that's
basically.
fine. We'll say it anime. That's a little bit better. It's a little less derogatory that way. We'll roll with it. Let's roll with it. Okay.
Godzilla in the Kaijuvision.
Tonight's episode,
The 1964 masterpiece,
Godzilla versus the Thing.
Mothra versus Godzilla.
Exactly.
Why do they call it the Thing in the U.S.?
Because they're
title?
dumb. It's about to fall, Nick.
This is?
Yeah. I was leaning off the front.
Nick really struggles here with things
It
and
was
stuff.
fine.
You're a Rube.
So this
Rube Goldberg over here.
this movie stars.
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Doesn't say.
It's from 1964.
Yes.
Ishiro Honda directed this. He also directed the original Godzilla and Mothra from 1961.
Does the audio commentary have subtitles?
I haven't watched it.
Hmm.
I wouldn't know yet. I probably will at some point, though.
Let me know.
This is streaming free on Tubi if you're looking to watch it.
Tubi. I watched the DVD. This is a very nice DVD collection.
There's quite a bit of Godzilla content
Have
on
you noticed
HBO
the
Max as well.
Toho Master Collection? Mothra versus Godzilla, presented in CinemaScope, and they have these little seals,
Seal?
which they try to tell you what monsters are in this movie, basically.
Oh, nice.
Mothra?
Well, there's a Godzilla one right there, but it obviously is Mothra, I guess.
Probably
I don't know.
Mothra's in this.
There you go. Has Mothra and Godzilla.
Oh, that's
So you can
awesome.
tell what monsters
I
are in
figured
it.
they were both in the movie called Mothra versus Godzilla.
Well, you can eat my ass, because there's a movie called Ghidorah, and Godzilla's in that. So, eat my ass. It's helpful. I'm just saying, with this collection, they do that in general. I have...
Are those all imports, or is that like a U.S. release of
It's a
that?
U.S. release, because it has the U.S. and Japanese versions.
Nice, okay.
What did you watch? The subtitled or dubbed?
I watched the subtitles.
Oh, I watched the dubbed version, just because that's...
I didn't look to see if HBO Max had both, but
If I had
I've-
grown up in the 90s, like I wish I would have watching these... I grew up in the 90s, but
So-
if I had watched these in the 90s on, like, TNT and shit like that, which I occasionally caught glimpses of, they would have been the English dubbed version. That's why I watched that.
maybe they had
But
it. If I searched Godzilla versus the Thing, they might have had the American version. Maybe.
I also have the original Godzilla from that collection of
Godzilla.
DVDs, but those are the only two I have from it.
This one's an interesting film. The human characters in this are a little less exciting. Later, they don't start off completely boring, though. I mean, you see that there's this typhoon going on, right? They're out there to check in on it, so you see a reporter. And I didn't get anyone's names on this just because...
I didn't either. It's fucking way too hard. I mean, I know there were kind of three
Well,
central characters
We'll
eventually.
give them
but
American names.
Well, you have the photographer.
it's Jeff, Joe, and Woman.
Yeah. You have the
We don't even name her.
You have the photographer, you have the journalist, and you have the doctor.
And you have Godzilla.
Godzilla.
And Mothra.
And then
And the
you have
twins.
It was also a doctor.
I just wrote them down as the twins.
The 3-inch twins.
I wrote them down as the fairies.
Oh, the fairies, okay.
Stick them in my butt.
Yeah, so there's basically reporters at the site and stuff, and then you see that scale that's found that's pretty interesting. Like, the guy that's eating the egg, I laugh at this guy. I think this is my third time watching this movie. The first time, like, hardly paying attention. The second time, probably paid more attention than the third time because I was
As a
trying to
kid?
take notes and shit. No,
Oh, you watched it 3 times for tonight?
no, just since I've owned the movie.
Oh, okay.
I only got into Godzilla movies in the last, 2 years, so
For the amount of...
at least the Japanese ones.
for big monster movies, they really hadn't upped the ante to them being as crazy and extreme as they get. There's not a crazy amount of screen time for, like, huge battles and shit in this one.
A lot of them are like that. Most of these are character-driven films, and that's the thing about Godzilla movies. You have to be able to enjoy the people's stories. You can't just go into them wanting monster battles. If you do that, you're going to have a bad time.
Like the new movies, it's just monster battle.
It's not. I mean, the movies do have significantly more monster battles, though, but, still, even like that, people complain that there's still too much talkie-talkie going on, and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
well, these just aren't the movies for you then. Go watch
Yeah.
Sharknado. That's what you want.
If it was 100% special effects, it would probably be really expensive too. So.
Well, I mean, here we see that they've got this giant egg. Somebody buys it, and then they're renting space on the beach to basically sell it to tourism, right? They're going to make money on that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Then they wind up wanting to incubate the egg, and then the fairies come and they want their egg back.
Yeah. This is, by the way, the fourth Godzilla movie. While we're on the subject.
So this is Godzilla Part 4.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially. He did Godzilla in 54, then Godzilla raids again.
The first 4 are in the same continuity.
Yeah.
I know there's like a shit ton of continuities. But.
Well, yes, but like the first continuity is pretty much the same for a while throughout the late 70s, I think. There's no reboots till the late 70s, and then Godzilla 85 is the first reboot, I think, and then that one is a sequel only to the original.
Which this figure we believe is from?
It's from the figure itself is from 85, so
More than likely a movie tie-in.
we'll see. I hope so, because that's my favorite Godzilla movie is Return of Godzilla. And let's see. Yeah, then King Kong versus Godzilla from 62.
Oh, I thought you were going to say King Kong showed
That
up
was
in
his
this.
third. And then he did this one, Godzilla did, anyway. Mothra's second movie. Mothra had a solo movie, Mothra.
Oh, I should have watched that first.
Mothra also has
I
two
was
other
kinda
solo
lost.
movies,
Were the fairies
Mothra
in,
2 and 3 and stuff.
Were the fairies in the Mothra solo
I haven't
movie?
seen Mothra yet,
Okay.
but there is a Mothra 3-banger on Blu-ray at Vintage Stock that I've been eyeballing. But, eventually maybe.
That's kind of what I'd wonder, because they already seem pretty well established when you see all that, so it kind of made sense. But
This is also the final Showa-era Godzilla where he's an antagonist.
yeah,
Because he's still obviously fucking shit up in this one.
I feel like he was accidentally fucking up. Like at one point he trips. He slips.
Well, yeah, he's falling all over the place in this one, and the rubber suit is hilarious
And
sometimes.
then I think sometimes he accidentally whacks buildings with his tail, and he's like, "Oh man, now they're gonna think I'm a monster."
Yeah.
yeah. Some of the battle scenes in this are pretty fun though. Like when you first see Godzilla come out and the tanks are attacking him, and then he gets caught up in the electrical lines and they're shocking him.
Yeah.
That's some pretty wild shit.
Yeah, the fairies show up, though, and they're basically like, hey, no, you need to, like, fucking set the egg free. That's the thing that's going to save you. Stop fucking around. Like, set the egg free, motherfucker. And then the businessmen are like, I'm going to try to capture these motherfuckers. And then people walk in on them, and it looks like they were either fighting or fucking.
Yeah, that's pretty much
And they're
it.
like, get out of here, get out of here. I was about to come. I was about to catch the fairies. I was about to come, yeah.
The music's amazing.
What about the tribal ceremonies and shit?
Those are pretty interesting.
Why are there Japanese Indians and they painted themselves red? That was a little racist.
They're basically
Yeah, it was. Goddamn. I'm glad you immediately realized that.
Are there Japanese Indians?
There's some. You mean natives?
But I mean they have the same garb,
It's not the same.
similar.
It's similar, but all tribe shit looks vaguely similar and has its own personal feel and touch. But
I just figured that they were mimicking stereotypically or something.
well, basically what they're implying, because doesn't that take place around the radioactive testing area where they are?
Where the natives are?
I don't know. But Godzilla shows up and starts fucking shit up at this
Yeah.
factory, and that's pretty cool. You get lots of missiles firing at Godzilla, and he's knocking shit over. I like the miniatures here.
The tanks look really fucking good.
The tanks look great, yeah.
Yeah, some of the miniature work in this really held up still for me. I was like, man.
And the aesthetic of the people's suits. I was checking out people's clothes in this movie. I was like, yeah, 1964 Japan was a fucking vibe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they all fucking dress nice and everything else.
Yes, atomic testing site. You are correct. That's what I wrote down next. So you are
Yeah.
correct in that assumption.
That's why they're red. Because they're radioactive.
The tribe confronts the businessmen, and the fairies are like, yo, the tribe people are right, yo. And then the tanks are
Our
shooting.
subtitles are wrong.
Yeah, that was my note about that. And we already talked about the tanks.
the tanks.
Oh, and then the one dude shows up and starts beating the shit out of the other dude for money. And he starts stealing his money, and then they start battling and fighting it out, and he
Yeah,
kills
all
the
that-
other dude.
And there's a hotel.
And then they end up
said-
both dying because Godzilla fucking destroys a building.
Didn't they say it was a hotel? Why does it got all that stacks of cash?
Because he's a player.
Well, the other thing that they're trying to do, like some of the plot and the social commentary, is basically the typhoon destroyed a bunch of area, and they're talking about the prefecture, what they're trying to rebuild, so they drain all the water out of there. Basically, capitalism over there taking over. And trying to rebuild and shit.
Goddamn capitalism.
So they have that egg enclosure built and stuff.
And then they start incubating the egg.
Yeah. Godzilla shows up and starts fucking up the egg enclosure. He's like, fuck your egg. Fuck your egg.
He's like, it's a Cadbury creamy. I'm going to eat this motherfucker up.
Eventually, the Thing shows up, as some of them are calling it for some reason. But Mothra shows up and is like, yo. And then Godzilla starts losing his shit when Mothra shows up. He's like, yo, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? And he's like fucking just jumping all over the place and just screaming.
And then, Mothra's last attempt to defeat him is when she starts to pollinate him.
Yeah, that shit's awesome, though. I like his atomic breath. You get the wind attack where it's like a fucking typhoon and shit.
There's some cool shit going on in there. And then they're like, why is Mothra retreating?
That bitch is dying, fool.
Right, like, we already told you she's about to die. That egg's going to be her replacement.
And then you get the twin shit penises.
Caterpillars is what I'd call
Yeah,
it.
that's-
If you're going
yeah.
from a moth, that's the logical
well,
thing.
Yeah, but they look like poop
They don't.
wieners.
Yeah, they're just
They
like
do end
little-
up jizzing on them to death.
Yeah, that is also true. It's very much go up go. Like
Yes, very much Spider-Man thing.
it is a
He's all-
bukkake, which is fitting because it's Japanese.
That's a Japanese word.
That's the one
Exactly.
Nick knows. He's like, I don't have to look that one up.
He knows another Toyota.
Jesus Christ.
Camry.
I can't fucking help you, you stupid son of a bitch.
Mario. He's Japanese.
He sounds Japanese when he talks.
Pizza. Plumbing. Overalls. Japanese things.
Japanese are really racist people.
What the fuck's wrong with you? That is a racist thing to say.
No, but they did the Italian stereotypes. Now the Native American Japanese painted red.
Cover your
Come
tracks
on.
and claim that white people are more racist than anyone else.
Humans are racist. Does that work?
No.
That sounds like a
That's
Trump supporting comment.
That sounds like all lives matter, Nick.
Yeah, that's
Get
Nick
the
saying
fuck out of here
all
with that shit.
Wait, are you sure that your hat doesn't say all lives matter?
That's what it says Mario. It says game over.
If you keep this shit up, your game is going to be over. You're going to be canceled.
I got an itchy trigger finger for the mute button.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mothra dies. You get the little shit fuckers who skeet all over Godzilla till he dies.
So he doesn't die.
Yeah, he doesn't die, but he wraps up and then. I liked actually.
He's
we didn't
in a
talk about how
cum.
Mothra dragged Godzilla's ass around for a while.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Godzilla's in a coma.
And he kept falling around during that battle too, and just like screaming in rage. Godzilla's like really angsty in this.
Yeah.
He's like,
a
"God damn it,
teenager."
Mothra! You're fucking my plans up."
He's like, why are you doing this? I'm not grounded, you're grounded.
Yeah, that was my last note. Was Bukkake. They wrap his ass up and piece the fuck out, and then they swim out of the ocean.
I was going to say, when they swim off in the ocean, it's like classic and cheesy, but that very much the happy ending thing.
If only I need to
Yeah,
make an
no
edit where it
end.
zooms out and the toilet flushes.
There was no credits, right? Was
A
there
bit
credits at the
nutty.
beginning? There was no credits at the end.
On Tubi, the credits were either cut or they just
They did
weren't
a
there.
beginning credits.
Yeah, on HBO Max there was no end credits.
They have different, or at least had different laws. Like right now, you have to have 2 credit sequences for a movie.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
This is why an ending. It's usually an ending and an opening. That's why some movies have an
there's
opening
only,
credits.
There's only ending credits now, right? Usually, aren't there?
No, what they've done is combine them, so they just put them both at the end. So usually, when you see a more advanced
right,
credit
okay.
sequence
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, like for example, Spider-Man: Homecoming. You remember they play the Ramones and shit, and all the bright colors and the flashing pages.
Yeah.
That's the same as having an opening credit sequence, but they move it at the end because they can. There's no law that says it has to be at the beginning.
Right.
But it
Well,
is the
that's what I
same
mean.
credit sequence that would be at the beginning, but at the end. And then when that's over, they
Then they
roll
do
the
the
other credits
traditional
again, and you
credits,
see
yeah.
the same people's names
Okay.
again.
I was gonna say, but most movies don't have any credits in the beginning. Is what I meant.
But they have the 2 sequences still, is what I'm saying. They did move
Yeah.
it.
A lot of movies
Okay.
still do a title card at the beginning, but that's a whole other thing. So
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Either way, this is one of the older, more classic style. It depends on how you feel about the eras. My favorite era is the... I don't even know the name of it. That's what's terrible. The Showa era is the first one, right? Yeah. And then there's the Heisei era.
The High C era?
The Heisei. I don't know how it's Heisi.
Wish Godzilla's
I
head
think.
turned on this one.
I'm not a Godzilla expert yet, but I'm on my way. But that's my favorite era. But I like watching these two.
It's
they're
fun
super
just to see
fun.
the progression of them, right? You know, and see where the story's going and like where they developed that. Like,
They're
it's-
fun. I like watching cheesy movies too. And the thing is, like,
And this one's silly enough with the fairies in there. You're like, what the hell's going on with this? And then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, it's all silly, it's all absurd. So like, let's just have fun with it.
compared to even Godzilla 54, which, you know, that one's not cheesy. That one is a lot more serious and dark, and I can
Godzilla
watch that
2000.
and be like, wow, I can take this seriously. I can't take Mothra versus Godzilla as seriously, but
Why not?
It just doesn't have that social tone to
Well,
it that the first one had. Right?
also growing up, the fact that I grew up in Power Rangers, that's what I see when I watch this, close as
Megazord.
opposed to serious human messages, which there is in this. There's
should
human
have-
messages of taking care of Earth and shit like that. That's what this one has going for it.
They should do Godzilla
There's cool stuff like that, but
versus Power Rangers.
That's a comic series currently going right
Is
now.
it?
I also really like Mothra, so that's probably why I like this one a lot. Wish there was a little more Mothra in it, but hey, whatever.
You said there's 3 solo Mothra movies?
I think so.
But
then
this is
he's
the
in a lot
second-
of other movies
This is
too,
the
so-
second appearance of Mothra,
Yeah, because Mothra was in Mothra first,
but he dies.
apparently. It's weird.
I don't know.
Either way, that's Mothra versus Godzilla. Let us know what you think of this.
Yeah.
Check it out on Tubi if you haven't already. If you're like just
Or
listening to this
if
because
you're
you're
on
curious.
HBO Max, you can get the ad-free version,
Yeah.
like Nick did.
If you don't have HBO Max, what are you doing with your life, Alec?
I don't know.
Some people
It's
have
so
this
good.
thing called a fucking budget, Nick.
It's
I don't
good.
know. We can't all fucking
It's
live
good.
lavishly like you do.
It's good. It's the only streaming service you need.
If you say so.
It's true.
That's a personal opinion.
It's true.
It's
If
like
you
your
love,
asshole.
if you love Batman or Godzilla, I mean, come on.
All right.
Well, that's it. Nick's boring me. Let's turn this off.
Peace out.